the footwell before his dad saw it, he'd go mad at the muck in all the nooks and crannies. He hoped Ian was far enough away from where he lived in Calver to put the cops off thinking he'd had out to do with it. He'd have to lie low for a bit, no more drinking, no more going out at night, until the mud had cleared and no one would guess there was a new body in the graveyard. He didn't look back as he drove away. He'd not got to know her. A first date. She hadn't talked much. A quiet lass, said she lived with her mum in Castleton. He peered into the gloomy night as he drove, wishing he'd done something about the headlight that no longer worked. Good job it was gone midnight and there wasn't much on the road. He undid his seatbelt so that he could lean forward. He could see naff all. He negotiated his way carefully. His windscreen wipers were nearly useless, and that, combined with the missing headlight, was proving to be a pain. He put his foot down and headed towards Stony Middleton. He didn't see the man with the huge Alsatian until the last minute, and he swerved to avoid them. He aquaplaned on the surface water pouring down from the hills and smashed into a stone wall. His car stopped without the use of brakes, and his head went through the windscreen. He came to rest atop the wall, with smoke puthering from the engine. The man with the dog dialed 999, explained where he was, and ran across the road. He dragged what he could see was a youngish chap from the wall and tried to get him away from the car. He didn't like the look of the smoke. By the time the ambulance arrived, they found him sitting on the curbside, his dog by his side, and a dead young man held in his arms. "Aye," he murmured. "He's gone." Chapter 2. Doris Lester looked around the cottage and smiled. Finally, she had found the place she had been looking to buy ever since selling her home in Sheffield and moving in with her granddaughter, Mouse. The death of Alice Small had seen this beautiful little cottage come onto the market, and it seemed so simple. Alice's will stated that it must be sold, the contents auctioned, and the profit split between cancer research and her church, St. Barnabas in Bradwell. Doris had been a cash buyer, and had said, "Take it off the market and I'll pay your asking price today." The executors of the will had agreed immediately. And here she was, standing in her new lounge, the keys clutched in her hand. "Nan," Mouse called from the front door, "if I find the box with all the kettle stuff, will you put it on?" "I most certainly will." She took one more look around the lounge and headed towards the hallway. The items she had put into storage when she left Sheffield wouldn't be arriving until the following day, but the bits and pieces she had been collecting were split between their 3 cars, and Cat and Mouse had said they would unload everything. She was to take it easy. They had made her take it easy for several weeks after a fall that had caused some damage to her shoulder, and she couldn't wait for the time when take it easy was no longer the order of the day. She wandered upstairs. The front bedroom overlooked the village, and despite the rain, the view was spectacular. She understood why Alice had loved it so much. Doris stood at the window for a moment, watching as Cat and Mouse collapsed into gales of laughter. She decided it might be better not to ask what had tickled them so much. The rain didn't seem quite so torrential, and she felt grateful. Her cardboard boxes might get inside without being soaked through. Going into the back bedroom gave her the most pleasure. This room was for Martha. She didn't intend losing any of the pleasure she gained from looking after Cat's 6-month-old baby. Martha would be able to stay over occasionally and have her own room at Nanny Doris's house for as long as she needed one. Alice had used the room for her craft work. Doris had seen it when she came to view the house, and everything in the cottage had been removed, the rare antiques, collectibles, and beautiful items that Alice herself had made, sold under the terms of the will. Mouse had attended the auction and wiped out any opposition when buying the Robert Thompson breadboard. She never admitted how much she had paid for it, simply saying, "the right amount." It had pride of place in Mouse's kitchen at the flat. Doris decided the back bedroom needed to be white.
to keep listening to this audiobook. I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.